Back in the late 90s, I was working as the Nighthawk, in charge of all police operations during the midnight tour. It was a slow Tuesday night, and I was visiting all the stations. About 2 a.m., the dispatcher called me on the radio and asked to switch to the First District channel. After doing so, he informed me that a 1099 unit patrolling alone just called for a backup and for the Harbor Patrol to respond to the Pennsylvania Bridge outbound, which is over the Anacostia River. He also notified me that he had a jumper, a suicide attempt. I copied this and informed him that I would be responding. As I expedited to that location, I monitored the radio transmissions from the harbor boat and the marked cars that were responding. While en route, I heard one of the responding backup units give the order to send an ambulance. I arrived to find the two backup units and another marked car. There were 5 uniformed officers there. One was sitting on the curb and another young man handcuffed sitting next to him. I could see the young man that was handcuffed crying. Then I saw the police officer sitting next to him put his arm around him. The master patrol officer from one of the backup units came over and said to me,
"Chief, I have seen many things, but this is at the top." I pulled up and saw that officer hanging over the railing of the bridge with his leg hooked through the vertical supports for the railing. He was hanging on to that man as they both dangled over the water, 200 feet up. I don't know how he did that. My partner and I were able to grab the man and pull him back to the sidewalk. The officer unhooked his leg and went to the ground, and then said, "Courage, sacrifice, grit, stones, and sand." That's all he said.
the transport arrived to take the man, about 22 years old, 6 feet tall, and 220 pounds, to the mental facility. When the man was placed in the transport, I heard him say to the officer,
"You saved my life. A cop saved my life. I will never forget this."
The officer was still sitting on the curb, and I called him over. I saw he had difficulty getting up and walked with a severe limp as he came to me. I had him sit in my car with the door open and had the medics take a look at him. They cut his pants on the leg that he had hooked on the railing supports. I saw it was already swollen with a large black, yellow, and brown hematoma at the back of his knee, and I asked him what had happened.
I was just patrolling and saw that man standing on the railing holding on to that light pole. I called the dispatcher and told him what I had and requested backup in the harbor to respond. The man was crying and talking about his girlfriend. I talked to him, and as I did, I slowly moved towards him. All of a sudden, he yells, "No!" and lets go of the light pole. I grabbed him as he was falling and almost got pulled over the railing myself, but was able to hook my leg through the support and hold on. He then grabbed hold of me and screamed, "I don't want to die."
Similar events happen every day across our nation by men and women who have sworn an oath to protect and serve. Many have made the supreme sacrifice, all honor to their names. I often wonder how different things would be if these stories received as much attention as the unethical conduct of just a very few that have tarnished the shine on my shield.